What up, that devil 3A Hoes Media? Creed 2. I'm gonna start doing these more like, not like reviews, but like reflections on the movies and stuff. Cause a review, everybody's doing fucking reviews, and you really should make up your own fucking mind. But here's the gist of it. I wasn't into the Rocky movies, but I watched them with my stepdad. I really didn't really understand the Rocky movies. I remember all of them, and the one that stood out the most was Rocky 4, and just the idea of him going to another land to take not vengeance, but I mean it was vengeance, but not really, to fight not only for his fallen friend, but to represent a nation versus another nation in a time that there was kind of like some problems going on, and the whole world's always been that way. But later on, when I got out on my own, I watched the movies back to back, and I could understand them more after having to fight, you know, to get where I was. Like I had to have a shitty job. Every day was like an uphill fucking battle. I lived paycheck to paycheck. Deal with dumbass motherfuckers standing in the way of trying to be an entrepreneur, and it really reflects on that. It's not just about boxing; it's about the overall fight of life. And everyone remembers that I must break you, and then Rocky's like it's a machine. And then after round, Rocky's still going, taking the hits, taking the punches, taking the damage, taking the pain. And Drago's like, he's not a man. It was a fucking, like, that represents everything. Whether you're fighting fucking cancer, trying to fucking get your kids, somebody's mugging you in a fucking alley, your boss is a shithead. Like, how do you fight back? How do you withstand the damage? Are you a tank? In gaming, everything. Rocky fucking encompasses the idea of just being a fucking warrior, man. And Creed 2, fucking decades after this shit, I always wanted to know what happened to Drago. He didn't get killed. Rocky didn't kill him. Rocky just beat him. So the Russians are gonna be like, oh, he's fucking supposed to be super soldier, and you fucking are pussy. So what happened to Drago? He had to fucking live like a bitch. So you get to see this shit, and if you don't fucking appreciate that, the idea that this fucking series, the Rocky Legacy, has gone on this fucking long, because a lot of people, oh, it's just Sylvester Stallone, guy can't freaking say that. He's like the fucking mumble rapper of fucking actors or some shit. But really, he's a fucking genuine motherfucker as far as on screen. Yeah, everyone has their opinion about somebody outside of what they do, but even with the Kevin Spacey shit, like, you have to be able to separate the man from the character. It was just fucking amazing. I don't care. I wish they'd make another fucking Rocky where he's fucking like he actually, now you could take it into a fucking comical direction if you wanted to, because it's already done everything it set out to do. Even Rocky 5, people didn't appreciate Rocky 5, but you can appreciate it if you really think about it. Yeah, it ain't the best in the series and shit, but anyway, okay, Creed 2. The idea that this kid has all this rage built up in him, and he thinks that he has to fight to, like, impress his father, who is deceased. If he would, like, if he was still alive and he just didn't have nothing to do with him, maybe. But the fact that he was already, and he got killed by this guy, so I mean, you can't you can't really identify with that unless you've lived a life where you didn't have your father, you know, and he's trying to avenge his father while at the same time he's gonna be a father, and he doesn't understand the full concept that he may die, like, and then it be the same fucking circle, full circle. So I know a lot of people are like they like Rocky because he's fucking Italian, and they don't want to watch Creed because it has nothing to do with Rocky, but it does have something to do with Rocky because it has everything about this shit has to do with Rocky. Rocky beat cancer in the last one, and and Creed was there with him. You know, I think the movie was a little too long. Like, you could reflect on some of the stuff that he was reflecting on, but speed it up a little bit. I'm not saying to omit it or edit it out, but just speed it up a little bit. The montage, I was looking for them to bring back the original theme song montage, not the actual da 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 da, you know, not that one, but the one where it's like fucking war, and Rocky was training in the mountains and shit and doing something different. Like when he took him out to the desert, it was kind of the same thing, but they didn't bring that. That was the one thing that irked me really hard. Um, Carl Weathers should have got to come back as not a force ghost, but like he should have seen, like, cause the guy that fucking wanted to set up the fight between Drago and Creed, he looked just like a young Carl Weathers. I was like, the whole time I was looking, I was like, did they change this motherfucker? So I had to fucking look him up on IMDb, and I was like, oh, it ain't even fucking him. I thought they might have like did the fucking Benjamin Button CGI and made him look younger or some shit. I'm like, they missed a fucking huge opportunity there for like Carl Weathers to return. Like, yeah, you don't want to see him as a ghost, but like maybe he leaves the audio or he gets a letter or something and you read it in his voice. Like any little thing could have been fucking cool, but they left that out. And I think it was a bad decision. But the movie overall, it doesn't hit as good as Creed, but it had some really good fucking moments. So I put it not equal to Creed, but right there, like it's almost like Rocky 2 and Rocky 4, like so like if you were to like put them all, like it's just slightly down here, but not because it wasn't as good, but because it just dragged a little bit. But the fact that he got beat down like a mug in the first fight and had to learn to be, you know, because he kind of got a big head. I'm unbeatable. I'm unstoppable. I'm a monster. He wouldn't listen. He wouldn't listen. But I mean, you know, Mickey made Rocky listen. So Rocky's just too calm. Like Rocky should have like channeled Mickey a little bit to get into him. But I didn't like how Rocky like just kind of left him hanging on the first fight. But at the same time, I can understand why. But if he would have said, "Look, if your mother approves of it, then I'll train you or whatever," then that would have been a little bit, probably a better direction to go in. But he just flat out was like, "I'm not gonna be there," and he was there for you, Rocky, when you were having cancer and shit. So it's like, you know, that's a death sentence for most. And you were telling him that fighting Drago was a death sentence, and then you just gave up, and it just, I don't know, I kind of that put a bad taste in my mouth, because Rocky wouldn't give up like that. He would have just told him to listen, and then the whole time he wouldn't listen, and then he would have got beaten, and Rocky would have been like, well, see, that's what I was trying to tell you, you know, so now if you really want to, you know, if you want to beat a man out of his, and make him out of his element, you gotta go outside of the elements, and then take him out to the desert and stuff, so, it just hit and miss a little bit, but it's better than Rocky 5, because most people bitch about Rocky 5. I think it's better than Rocky Balboa. I mean, I like Rocky Balboa because it showed that, you know, you could bring back a franchise after so long with an aging actor and still be, you know, a good film. They're all good films. But I mean, you gotta know the history behind this shit. Nobody wanted to do Rocky, so Stallone did Rocky, but he wanted to do it anyway. I mean, it's crazy. Somebody took a gamble on him. He became a success. So the story of Rocky is pretty much his life. Like, I don't know if they could do another Creed without Rocky in it in some way. Because, I mean, yeah, it's established now, but I mean, look what happened in the first fight. And then at the very fucking end. Oh, wait, hold on. When Creed has his kid, and they're like, she's gonna be like you, the wife, and kind of deaf, or going deaf, or whatever, or is deaf. Like, they should have made it where, like, she could hear it when he was boxing or something, or when the crowd was going crazy, she could hear it. Like, it would show that she could hear it or something like that. And then the fucking ending, when he finally was like, fuck it, I gotta move out of Philly and go see my kid, and the kid, Milo from Rocky Balboa, and he sees his grandkid, and it's all fucking, it's not scripted. He just improv, and he tells the kid, "You look just like your grandmother," and you're just like, "Holy fucking shit, he does!" Like, or she does. I don't even. I guess it's a grandson. I don't remember. I'm like, fucking Stallone, man, fucking Stallone. So I don't know. Movie gives me fucking chills and shit, even though it's not, the original of the series and shit. But just that fucking, the whole, you're vested into Rocky if you've been around. It's just, it's fucking cool, man. It's worth checking out. And when Creed goes to Russia, because they're like, we're not gonna fight you on the second round unless you go to Russia on our territory, and he goes, and his wife, who is trying to be a musician, fucking does his entrance theme, and she does it live. That shit was pounding, man. That shit was fucking dope. So I like how it merges, like, the hip hop culture and then the Rocky shit. And Rocky admits half the time he don't understand some of this new stuff. It's pretty cool, man. It's fucking cool. So yeah, this movie makes me smile, man. It's fucking great. And I like Drago, man. Dolph Lundgren, he's still a monster motherfucker. But there was a scene I seen where they fought in a bar or something, or in a diner, and I didn't see that in the film, so I don't know if that's like a bonus scene or if they were just playing around or what. I seen it on like a Access Hollywood or something. I don't remember what it was. And then Drago's just the kid is just a fucking monster. I don't like. Oh yeah, Creed's talking all this shit, and you're just looking at him like, God damn, that motherfucker is fucking huge. And bigger they are, the harder they fall. But I mean, he's like a fucking beast. So it's like, fuck. But I mean, yeah, I've seen small people go toe to toe with big people and shit. So it's not entirely unrealistic, but it's all about the eye of the tiger. So yeah, check that shit out. That Devil 3 Host Media.